love the
Hey,
synthesizer
hey,
so much. It's so
hey!
80s. I just love that.
Welcome to Gen-X-Ploration. Gen Xers, are we making life too hard? I mean,
Oh,
let's bring
it
it down,
seems so
Bobby.
much. It seems so much. You and I were talking before this about how, I have people in my office and they're putting too much pressure on themselves.
Right.
They're making their lives hard, relationship wise with the lack of effort that they're putting in. They're making their work life too difficult with the amount of effort they're putting in. Usually it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, they try and make themselves feel better by doing retail therapy. And that only makes it to where there's too much month at the end of the money.
Right. I mean, we step in our, numbing out stage, which can lead to bad coping mechanisms, whether that's shopping, whether that's sex, whether that is doing things in excess. I think everything that
Mm-hmm.
is bad coping is when you do it to excess to soothe you. That is when we
Mm-hmm.
mean it's a bad coping, because shopping is not a bad thing. There's a lot of gray with a
No, it's
lot of
not.
things. Uh,
Right.
so I think if we really look at what we think, I think in our society we're very in that dualistic kind of um duality of what things are, good, evil, you know
Mm-hmm.
um we just are very into that, that this doesn't make me a good person. How, and does it always make somebody not a good, a bad, a good person if they do this? No. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like, you could be like speeding and your wife is pregnant. Does that make you a bad person because you're speeding? I mean, um, there's a
Like you're
lot of
going to the
ways.
hospital.
Yeah, they're going to the hospital.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if you're going to the hospital and your wife's pregnant, she's gonna have a baby. No, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so that's just a
There's
simple.
reasons for everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're new to this channel, we are looking at it from a coach, which is me, and a counselor, which is
Mm-hmm.
Bobby. Just looking at different
Hello.
perspectives, because I think Gen Xers, for the most part, we just kind of get to the grind and we just grind it out, and
Yes.
we just keep on stepping, and we're very much what is emotions, like, we don't allow our emotions to really guide us in our journey. So quite
Oh,
often
yep.
we get lost and we make life hard. We make it hard. So because we realize, like, we are in this state where we're like a lone wolf, where we don't want to be a burden. We don't want
Mm-hmm.
we don't
Right.
want to look bad or weak.
Right.
These are very much
Or
Gen
weak.
X.
Yes. No, don't want to look weak. That was a really good one to say because I
Yeah,
think of my buddies who I went to high school with, who I still talk to, on a weekly basis. And oh no, there is no looking weak. No.
right,
In life and work and in social status and house and truck, there's no looking weak.
right. And I think quite often we are very isolated in our angst. We have this, uncertainty. We don't ask for help as Gen Xers. And then we
Hmm.
get in this like hamster wheel of, what if I do this? What if I do this? And we guess ourselves to the point where
Hmm.
we are stagnant, we are stuck, and we won't ask for help. And then
Oh, oh, what is perfection paralysis?
that is very much perfection for that.
Yes, I will admit. Hi, my name is Bobby. I suffer from perfection paralysis. Hi, Bobby. Yeah, no, that's me. I do the same thing, so I know exactly what you're talking
Well, the
about. I have to
thing
talk
is,
myself out of it.
right. Like, and we were very much conditioned in that mentality, growing up, because
Yes.
we had a list, like in the morning, we did the list and then we could go out.
Yep.
So we
Yeah.
didn't, for in my household, my experience, and I think yours too, you didn't ask questions because they didn't want to be bothered. They just wanted us to do our
Right.
shit and get out of the house.
Yes.
And I'm
That's
not
right.
saying this as a dismissive, like, I'm not throwing my parents under the bus. This was very much the culture of Gen X.
Yeah, very much the culture. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, do your chores, go get my cigarettes. You
That's
know?
right. I was just talking to somebody that is not Gen X about that the other day, how I used to have a note and $5 so I can go get 3 packs of cigarettes. Yeah, I said 3 packs of cigarettes for under $5.
Yeah.
Please give Bobby some Winston 100s, 3 of them. Thank you, Hilda. You
Right.
know, like,
Right.
and it worked. You can't do that today.
No, no. And it wasn't a surprise that so many people smoked back then. It was
Yeah.
cheap. It was very much in our parents' culture, like on TV, advertisements, all that fun jazz. And I mean, for God's sake, in Vietnam, they put it in the care package for, you know, the soldiers.
Mhm. Yeah, you got Luckies. You got Luckies
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
pa in your, food, in your, God, there's a I'm gonna think of the acronym, it'll come to me in a minute.
Yeah, there is an
Somebody's
acronym, but
yelling at the screen right now.
I can't remember. But
I can't remember either.
I remember my dad telling it because he was in the Navy back in the day. So
MRE, MRE.
yeah,
Thank you.
MRE.
I'm sorry, I just blurted that out, I'm sorry. Before
So
my Gen X brain doesn't hold on to it any longer, I had to spit it out.
I know.
Pardon me.
But now we're in like we're Gen Xers and we don't ask for help. We're we're
Mhm.
saying all these things in our head. We're in that kind of toxic loop. And then we have to hit that dopamine by going on Google, going on social media, trying to figure it out. And then we're so overwhelmed because there's so much information that we
Mhm.
basically just get stuck. And if that's you, that is okay. This is awareness, my friends. Like I say, be in the sky and observe yourself right now. This is a time to
Yes.
really look at what you're doing, not in shame, not in guilt, not in anything that's not going to serve you.
No.
But
No.
today is a new day. Today is the
Yeah.
present day. And tomorrow you're going to leverage that knowledge because you act, you assess, and you adjust. And then you rinse and
Yeah.
repeat, baby. That's what you do.
And what we're looking for you to do is do it in observation. So
Yes.
again, we're going to go with the 1,000-foot view. We want you to look down and go, okay, this is an honest assessment of what I am doing. What do I do? If you need to get a pen and paper and write this down to map it out, I go to work for 8 hours a day. I drive for 90 minutes. I do this, this, and this. And map it out, and you'll see that you're putting in a very, very good effort, but there's places that can be changed a little bit to benefit yourself, to benefit your wife or your husband, to benefit your children,
Benefit
and
yourself.
give yourself some grace.
Yeah. Yeah. And if people don't know what we talk about a lot on this channel, but being in his observation is not being driven by your emotional state. It's not being anchored to your fear. It's not being anchored
Right.
to your regret. It's not, being anchored to all of those slew of emotions that we can find ourselves in. And
Mhm.
the thing is I'm in this work, and the thing is that I don't get to the point. A lot of people are like, well, then you're never sad, you're never angry. Yes, I am, but
Oh,
I know the triggers. I know what activates me, and that is a
mhm.
trigger. That is an activation for me to go in observation. When I get angry,
Sure. I personally
that,
call it a door. I
yeah,
say, okay, where is my door out of this situation? Right now, I am elevated. I'm angry. I'm not going to say something correct. I know that I'm not. I need a door, and I find a door in my head to go through so I can go to another place and be out of that. So
right.
yes, your observation, my door could be somebody else's screen door. Who knows?
We're not advocating when you get activated to just leave it and never talk about it. You know, if you're dealing with another person,
Mhm.
that's not healthy.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
thing,
this is
the
with
thing,
yourself, but yes.
yeah, the thing is if you're to the point where you know you're going to go off, you set a very specific time frame. Like, I need an hour to go for a walk or go for a drive, and then we will sit down and talk about it. Like, it needs to be
Mhm.
at the point of when you're activated. It's not avoidance. This is not what we're advocating.
Mhm.
Avoidance is not.
Right, no. In my mind, the door is so that I can do the 10,000-foot view or the 1,000-foot view so that I can
Exactly.
look at it. So I don't have it right here. It's not just sitting here clouding everything.
Correct. Yeah, I just wanted to break that down because I could see, I've had people like, I'm like, find your way out. And they're like, I'm supposed to leave? And I'm like, no, you don't have to leave, but you just advocate for yourself. It gets to the point
Excuse
where
me.
you just need to do some deep breathing and really kind of calm your nervous system. If
Mhm.
it's a point where you just need to scan your body and seeing where it turns up, in your body, because it gives you a lot
Mhm.
of knowledge. Like, if you allow yourself just to scan, just deep breathe and scan and see where it hurts, see where it shows up, it says a lot of
Mhm.
what's going on because you befriend it, you think it, but you don't anchor to it.
Mhm. Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, body scanning
That's
might
yeah.
be different for, might not be something you're used to, and that's okay. We're all growing.
Mhm.
Um, like right now, the perfect example, like right now, I'm getting back into doing more sustained living type of activity. Like, I'm doing gardening. I got a garden tower. I got seeds. I got dirt. I'm going to do all this because I was very much brought up in the Midwest where we I mean, that
Mhm.
was a way of life. Like, you used
Yeah.
everything that was in the garden. You used everything from head to tail on an animal. That was how we grew up.
Yes. Mhm.
And I have realized in my reflection and in my meditation, I'm craving that because it just makes me feel happy and purposeful and more autonomy in my life. Because being
Mhm.
anchored to a system that might not be certain, in your mind's eye, you know, it
Mhm.
it can make you it can bring up all these emotions where it might project into other areas in your life where you're making life too hard, you know? So,
Okay.
like with the gardening and stuff, like, you make a plan. Like, you just don't throw seeds in the dirt. Like, you figure out the composition of the of the soil you need, when to
Mhm.
plant them, when to succession. And
Mhm.
this is the thing, you journal. Even in gardening, you journal. I mean, I don't understand why
Yep.
so many people are so resistant to journaling, because it gives you a way to get it all out of your head on paper, and you can see things that you would have never seen before because you get in that hamster emotional wheel of, oh my God, I suck, and all of this talk.
Mhm. I am keeping the emotional hamster wheel. We need a graphic or something
I
on the
know.
side. That's awesome.
Do 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 do.
Welcome to the emotional hamster wheel. Yep. That's good. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Kinsey Shae.
I know it.
Everybody.
I know it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there might be lots of reason why you feel stuck. You might have lost your job. You might have, put in
Mhm.
all of this effort, with your job, and now it's gone and you didn't focus on your family life. Or vice versa. I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios where you just, why is life so hard? And
Mhm.
I think another key thing is, like, no matter your circumstances, no matter what's going on in the world, Your circumstances do not define you. Just
That's
because
correct.
just because I'm disabled, that doesn't define what I can do. It
Hmm.
physically limits what I can do, but I'm not in the mindset of I can't do.
Right.
You know, I mean, I
Right.
break stuff all the time. I have limited mobility in my left hand, and
Did you say that you break stuff all the time?
I do. I reach for stuff all the time, and I drop it
Uh-huh.
because yeah, because it locks up and
Because
it
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 doesn't
just
work as well as you want it to.
yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I'm okay with that because in my brain, it's saying you still have a viable arm. And the thing is this is an opportunity to say you have a viable life and you can change it. You have the power
Well tied in.
inside of you.
Hmm. Yeah. Yes.
You do. And
And you do
gratitude,
have the power inside of you, and we should underline that because that's the thing that people understand is that they are not helpless. You can help yourself. You can grab tools. You can seek help. You can get counseling. You can get coaching to get a different perspective. We're going to go back to the 1,000-foot view again. If somebody is looking at that with you, it gives you a whole different perspective and it can show you something that you probably did not see, and it's going to become extremely valuable to you and kind of an epiphany in a way.
correct. And I mean, the key is, when we feel like, why is life so hard? Quite often, with the people I've coached and in my own life, I'm looking at the past of where everything went wrong, or
Hmm.
I'm looking in the present where I don't see a way out. And I hate to break it to you, nothing's guaranteed in life. Nothing's guaranteed.
No, surely not.
So, I mean,
Really?
what's that saying? The plan one. You're doing life
If
when
you
you're
want to make
making
God laugh, just tell him your plans.
what?
Is that it? If you want to
No,
make God laugh, just tell him your plans.
no. That wasn't it. It's like life happens when you're planning it or something. It's something like that. So while you're making
Yes. I
life
think it was a
happens.
John Lennon quote or something. Yeah.
It's in a lot of movies too. But the thing
Hmm.
is to be present. This was one of the first things, and I thought it was the most hokey, crazy thing as a Gen Xer is to
Hmm.
be to start my day off with gratitude and end my day with gratitude. And I talk about it a lot because it was very pivotal in my life. Because when
Hmm.
you notice the little things and you're grateful for them and you take it
Hmm.
a step farther and you release what doesn't serve you, whether it's an anger or emotion, doesn't mean you ignore it. It just means that you're releasing the emotional tie to it. You're not anchored or tethered to it. Does that make sense? So
Yep.
allowing yourself to be grateful for waking, even if it's just like, I am so happy and grateful to be alive because I get to enjoy another day. Your day will start out 1,000 times better than you wake up and you hear the alarm clock and here's another day. Let's see what happens. I mean, you're just calling that in. And don't get me
I
wrong,
don't
I've
know.
been there.
Hmm. So I've got a hybrid. I've got a hybrid of this.
Okay.
Maybe you'll like this. I don't
Okay.
know. So the alarm goes off. I am not a snooze person. Okay. If it goes off, I'm getting up because I've got that thing backed up to where I've got it timed now. I'm not going to waste time waking up and going to sleep and waking up and going to sleep. I'm waking up. We're hitting the road. Let's go. You know? So the alarm goes off. I hit the stop button. I get up immediately. And I say stop button because nobody uses an alarm clock anymore. We all use our phones, you know?
Mhm.
And I give myself about 10 paces of grumbling, meaning like as soon as I broach the kitchen, I just take a big breath in and I say, I am so thankful I get to have a cup of coffee right now.
Right.
And I always, minus the sickness I had a couple of weeks ago,
Right.
I always smile because
Right.
I'm just like, and I'm not mad or anything, but I'm not awake,
Right.
so I'm trying to get some air in and okay, all right. And then I get to have a cup of coffee.
Right.
oh, this is awesome, and it just this gratitude comes in
Right.
and it feels so good. And I didn't know that I could have that feeling until I started applying it.
Right.
And then I went, yeah, I'm going to do this every morning now. So that's what I do. I made a game out of it.
Exactly. I mean, because quite often when we just focus on like, oh, it's same shit another day type of mindset, we don't allow
Mhm.
ourselves to be in play. We don't allow ourselves to give ourselves permission to
Mhm.
just be in flow. We feel we have to uh, pretty much make everything happen in the day. Like we have to overthink and
Right.
plan it. And quite often, you don't really need to plan it. You need routines. You need a morning routine and an evening routine to kind of, to your
Mhm.
morning routine is to kind of get you in motion because it's a cue for your
Mhm.
body. Your body will it will embody it. It will be autopilot.
Yes, and that's what mine has started doing. Ever since I started doing that, I have now embodied that. I mean, I change in 30 seconds. My whole everything changes and I love it.
Yeah. I mean, you might go, okay, what's a morning routine besides, gratitude and whatever? I mean, first thing when I wake up, I do gratitude. I do my focus breathing. I do a body scan because
Mhm.
when you have to befriend yourself every morning because quite often we look outside of ourselves quite often and allowing
Mhm.
yourself just to feel your five senses like what am I hearing, what am I seeing, what am I smelling, incorporate all those five senses in waking up. And it's so powerful. Like if you make your bed, brush your teeth, you know do your affirmations. These are all examples. I'm not saying do all these things, I'm just saying these are positive
Mhm.
ways. Listen to, like, when you're getting ready for work or wherever you're going, listen to music that, like, nostalgia music that gets you like in a good mood. Like if you were like cruising
Right.
in the day with your friends and that's a good
Yeah.
memory for you. And if for people that aren't Gen
Mhm.
X, cruising literally means we got in our car with a whole bunch of people and just drove
Yes.
down the main street back and forth, hooping and
Yes.
hollering. That's what cruising was.
Call waving at people, just like kind of our own parade every weekend.
Exactly.
Yep.
I mean, so when I want to get, like, if I'm in a really crappy mood and because sometimes we do wake up in crappy moods. It's okay.
Yeah,
But
it's
that's
okay.
my cue. I just start dancing and I tell Alexa or Google or whatever room I'm in, I'm like, play me, power 80s or play me top hits of the 90s. Whatever will get me in that just nostalgia, that good feeling, because that totally
Mhm.
activates your amygdala and totally activates that positive hormones to be released in your body, and it will change your mood.
Mhm.
And sometimes
Yeah.
you have to dance that out, or you know get all like jiggy with it just to release it, because I mean there's a lot of stuff that gets caught up in our nervous system just
Excuse me.
released.
Mhm.
Um, and that might sound woo woo, and that's okay. I just invite you to try it. And
Yeah, we're trying to give you things to sample and think about.
yeah, be
Mhm.
curious like a kid in a candy store. Like you're going, like when I did the
Mhm.
gratitude, I'm just like, this is the da 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 da. Da. I mean, I went off. I'm like, this is so effing. I'm gonna say it's magically rainbows and sunshines out of my ass, and I'm gonna be fine. And that's how my mind was because I was so automatically that's like conditioned
Right.
to think that way.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
over time, good things started happening to me, and I'm like, what's different?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing gratitude.
As you
Oh, I'm
change something.
doing
Yep, that's
movement in the
right.
morning. Oh, I have a routine
Mhm.
now. And this is something
Right.
that's not going to happen like over time. Like we said, the last couple, give yourself grace. Like, this is a key
Yeah.
theme. Um, is give
Mhm.
yourself grace.
I think you were meaning to say this can happen over time. It doesn't happen instantly. You're not
Yeah,
just gonna wake up one day, do this one time and go, "Wow, everything's perfect and rainbows out of my ass now."
yeah,
No, it takes a little bit of time. You have to build up and you have to make it a pattern in your life like you
yeah,
have. And
yeah,
you are the testimony, you and I a little bit, but
yeah,
mostly you with how you have done things to change how you function in your life. I mean, you're the testimony to how this works.
right.
So,
Yeah. And there's like no comparison just because I hear this quite often with people I coach and like friends. They're like, well, I shouldn't even be
mhm.
complaining because everything you've been through. Like, don't poo poo your life journey. There's no comparison. That
Right.
keeps you stuck.
Nope,
Um, that's getting you
that
in the
does.
constructs of your mind where you compare, when you judge, when you
Mhm.
blame. It just keeps you stuck in that negative spiral where you're just
True.
you're just spiraling down the toilet. That's
Yes.
literally
Yeah, like we like to say, in the world of recovery, don't get out the blame thrower.
Mhm.
Don't just and blame everything on everybody else. Yeah. So,
Yeah, like when I mean, and that doesn't mean that. I mean, we've been in this work for a while, and
mhm.
sometimes we're like, oh, it happened because of this. Now, is that
Mhm.
because, are you saying it in a factual way? You know, and you can say, in my perspective, it happened because of this. That's factual. But if you're saying all of my
Mhm.
woes is because of him, you feel the energy different in your body. I mean, it's different energy.
You do. You were right. Mhm.
So it's just monitoring. Like, if you say something and it just makes you feel icky afterwards, that's a self-soothing, ego-driven activity that you're doing. It doesn't mean that you're
Mhm.
bad. It just means be in observance and
Right.
understand that the way you're handling it
Mhm.
probably isn't the most productive way to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that sums it up really good.
Yeah.
I really do because we have to, again, grace. I'll just say the word grace. I did not incorporate that word into my life until 2024.
Yeah. I mean, G it up. Do the gratitude and give yourself grace.
All kinds of G's. G it up.
Get up. Yeah.
That's right. What up, G?
What
There
a
you go.
so you
What
can
up,
say that
G?
to yourself. I mean, you could even. This is funny because I am that way. Uh, I'm quirky. Like, if you wake up, just that, this will make you laugh. Like, just look in the mirror and go like, "What up, G?" And you're gonna give yourself
Mm-hmm.
grace and you're gonna do your gratitude.
Grace and gratitude. That's right. I have dry erase, like overhead pens. I'm
Right.
gonna I'm gonna put a big old G on my mirror as soon as I'm done with this, so I
Yeah.
can see it in the morning when I get up. What up, G?
What
Yeah, grace.
G?
Yeah, and gratitude. Let's go. The two big
Yep.
G's.
Yep. So, I mean, congratulations if this is awareness. If you've said this, Gen Xers, why does my life have to be so
Mm-hmm.
hard? Here are some some really powerful ways to flip that on its head
Mm-hmm.
and to have a more autonomy in yourself, more self-love in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
more happiness,
Right.
more peace in yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, on that
Nailed
note,
it. Good
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Like, subscribe, do all that fun jazz. Please put your comments down, suggestions. We love doing that. We did
We
that
love them.
last week. And
Yeah, we love them.
yes, yes, it's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we love and appreciate you. And we will see you next week. Bye
Sounds good. Bye. See you next week.
bye.